Is all of the construction coming along well over there? I'd like to get into that new house as soon as possible. It looks like it. I'd say to give the contractors a little bit longer and they'll have the new house ready for us. Really? So things are moving along pretty quickly. It's only been a month since they started to work on the house, right? Well, you've been asking for the house to be done ASAP, so I've been talking to the construction company and pushing them to get things done sooner rather than later. I see. So even you, who's pretty much useless to me, can still have your rare uses from time to time. We'll be selling the old house. That's fine with you, right? And that means you'll never have to go back to that old place anymore. I don't plan on going back to the old house anymore, but I do think we should wait a little bit before selling it. I think even after moving out of the place, we should still give ourselves a little bit of time to prepare the new house and get all of the things we want to out of that old place. But we'll be wasting money by holding on to that house longer. I want that place gone right now, if possible. If that's what you really want, Mom, then I'm not going to stop you. But let's just wait until we're able to move into this new place before selling that house. What is with you talking to me like that? Do you think you're in the position to be commanding your mom around like that? Wait, I wasn't commanding you to do anything, actually. I'm just giving my bit of input is all. Hoping that it might help the situation with selling the old house is all. Do you even realize that the job you work full-time is that of a janitor? Someone who works such a low-level job as that should not be giving me any form of input into my matters. Here we go again with you talking about me that way. The only reason I became a janitor in the first place is to help you out after losing Dad a while back. It was a rough time for you then, and I thought it was the right thing to do as your guys' daughter. At the time, the only job that was available was that of becoming a janitor, so that's the one I took. I didn't need any of your help then, but I'm finally around to having a brand new house built for me to live in. I'm very shocked to see that you, of all people, are able to buy land and a house with the kind of work you're continuing to do. I'm glad to see you doing something for me this time, finally giving me the real help I've needed. Well, as long as you're happy to be getting a new house, I'm happy. Now, from what I'm being told, by the end of the week, the house should be ready to go. I'm really looking forward to it. Carter, is what Mom was saying to me really true?
What was she saying to you?
About you moving in and living with her. You didn't mean any of that as the whole family all living in the house together, but rather just you and your family with Mom, right?
Well, of course that's what I meant. Mom has no reason to be living together with you in that brand new house. She despises every little bit of you, and I don't blame her.
Despise me? So even you find it okay for her to look down on me like that?
Well, she's looked down on you for the longest time now, and so have I. But I have to admit that I'm pleased by you. Because if it weren't for all the work you've put in, I wouldn't be able to move into a newly built house with my mom. And I hear that there's a separate house being built as well.
A separate house? Did you really hear about everything from her? All you paid for regarding this house was the land.
I'm so glad I took out a loan for that. Now I'll be able to be back in the same house as her, and we can be one big happy family again. Of course, you're not going to be a part of that, right?
I see. Carter, you don't seem to understand any of what's going on with this new place then. Well, so be it. Mom happens to love you with all her heart, so it'll be perfect for you to come and live with her again. I really hope you guys are able to live happily together again. Somewhere, of course. I can see that the house is complete now. Both Carter and I came to see the place for ourselves. It's a bit smaller than what the two of us were thinking, but oh well. Now, you can leave the rest of the moving in to us, all right? What? What are you talking about, Mom? And actually, why have you and Carter gone to see the new house without me already? Wait, did we not tell you about this before? I've decided that I'll be living in this house together with Carter and his wife. What? Arya, I never planned on living together with you inside this brand new house you built for me. I'm sorry, but I want you to continue paying off the loan on this place, and then after you've done that, go find a home of your own to live in. So, wait, does this mean that this whole time you've been wanting to use me to get that house built for you, but never intended on actually letting me move in with you there? Well, you knew this was coming, right? Why do I have to let you come and live in my new house with me? I've gotten my new house from you now, so there's no more use being around you. Now, you and that low-level job you work can leave me for good. So you had me pay for that whole house for you just to say something like that on the day we should both be moving in there? You should have known something like this was coming, considering you're working such an awful job. Why are you so surprised by what I'm saying now? Did you actually think someone that works as a janitor could move into a newly built home? Aria, you're not like the rest of my family, and I mostly consider you a stranger. I have been working as a janitor in order to give you a new house and support a more relaxed life for you. That's why this whole time I've been working so hard with those contractors to have the house built. You've known about how much I've been saving up for this house, right? How many years it's taken me? And you did a fine job, beyond my expectations. But I never once said that you'd be allowed to come and live in this new house with me, right? I've always wanted to have my amazing son and his lovely wife move in here with me. Those two will be able to give me grandchildren as well, right? That will lead to a life where every day is wonderful for us. What? So it's for that reason that you're going to simply toss me aside now? Of course it is. I'm afraid that when you start needing money from us, you're going to latch on to all of us like some kind of blood-sucking leech and will never let go. So in order to avoid that possibility, I'm making sure we get rid of you right now. Get rid of me? What is wrong with you, Mom? But whatever, I guess. I understand how things are going to be now. I can finally understand what's been going on inside that head of yours. You must have always thought of me as some idiot that you could take advantage of, huh? I never said you were an idiot, but you might be onto something there. Now, I will thank you this one time for getting me a new house to live in with my beautiful son and his lovely wife. But I do want this house to only be for myself and his family, so you're going to have to stay away. All right, then. I'll get out of here right away. And never come back to the house again. That won't be a problem at all for me. I'm going to follow through with what you've asked from me and leave this place forever. Although I'm not really leaving the place because I never moved in to start with. So I'll make sure I don't have my things taken over there. But now that I feel pretty heartbroken by what's all happened here, I wonder if it'd be all right to just tear that place down? You know, that newly built house. Huh? Have you gone mad now? Stop talking about such a reckless thing. How about instead of going crazy and diving off the deep end, you go out and get yourself a real paying job? I can tear down that house, right? It's the house I had built after all. If you really think you could do such a thing, then go right ahead and try it. But you'll only end up realizing that your word means nothing in this world, and that nobody is going to care to listen to you. This is our house, after all. And once I've told Carter and his wife about how you're not around here anymore, they will be so pleased. This is all so great, isn't it? You were able to put all your life savings into making sure that me and my family are happy. Well, since you don't seem to mind me giving it a go, I'll be there tomorrow to have the house torn down. I hope you'll be looking forward to it. What are you planning on doing, Aria? Why would you start doing something like that? Are you completely screwed in the head or something? To actually come here and start tearing down my home? Did you never think that I'd actually show up here with the bulldozer and start having the house plowed down? How does it feel now to have the brand new house you wanted to call home fall into ruin in the blink of an eye? I had made sure to warn you and everything even. Warn me? I never once thought that you'd seriously be coming over here to destroy my house. To see the house that I had just started moving into be crushed into piles of broken wall and frames? Ah, and as a side note, I made sure to finish all the work of having Carter hand me the duty of paying off the loans on the house and land before the place was completed. What? I'm glad he and I worked on getting all of that done days in advance. I had this feeling before actually starting the construction on the place that you'd try to backstab me at some point. So I'm glad I talked with Carter about all of this before the house was completed. You were talking with Carter all this time? What do you mean? You just tore down a freaking house right in front of my eyes. Do you not realize that what you've done is completely mental? The only thing that seems mental to me is the fact that you planned on kicking the owner of the house out right after having the place built and instead have her brother and his wife move in with you. That's pretty messed up if you ask me. So don't start getting upset with me when you were the one who wanted to do crazy things that way from the start. What about what I did was mental? I just wanted to have Carter and his wife live with me and make things right. I don't feel comfortable living with someone who works a job like you're working. You would never be able to care for me in my old age like him and his wife can, right? Oh? Well, did you know that Carter is making a whole lot less than I am right now? What? That's why I was able to pay off that loan so easily for the house. After talking with Carter a little bit about what was going on with the new house, he told me it would be him and his wife moving into it with you and not me. So before the house was completed, I made sure that things like the loan for the house would be handled by me instead of him, and that the name on the place stayed mine. Are you surprised by all of this? So you're telling me that you paid for the house and everything? And even though you were the one who bought it all, you chose to destroy it? Do you think doing something like that is even remotely okay? You were the one asking me to go right ahead and try it, though. I was? What was I asking you to try? You said that if I thought I could tear down the house, to go ahead and try it. So that's why I went ahead and gave it all a try. Did I not hear you right or something when you said all that to me? Of course you didn't hear me correctly, and now you've really gone and done it. Why would you do something like this to me? Where are we going to be living at now? Well, you were never going to be living in that new house with me, actually. Huh? But the house was just finished being built and we had already started getting things ready to move in. Mom, do you really think that a house like that can be built so easily in 1 month? Both you and Carter don't seem to have any common sense. What are you talking about? What are you trying to say about the two of us? The only thing that Carter ended up buying was the land for the house. What? And the only thing I ended up putting on that land was a prefabricated home. Had you actually planned on having the whole family, including me, be moving into a new house on that land, I would have had a proper house built to hold everyone in it comfortably. Hold on a second. I'm not really sure what you're getting at here. But after hearing from Carter that you only planned on having him and his wife move in with you and were going to kick me out, well, I made up a plan to turn the tables on both of you. I thought that just having a big prefab house built on the land would convince you both, and it wouldn't cost me all that much money to do. And since I was the one that paid for it, I'm the one who has the right to tear it apart, right? I don't think you should be tearing something like that apart, though. So you're trying to tell me that the house you had built there wasn't meant for anyone to live in? The inside of that place was completely empty, right? There was no way anyone would be living in that house just yet. But of course, you guys thought all of that would work, right? And that's why you started to get ready to move in, right? And with what you told me yesterday, I was able to confirm that you were in fact not going to let me live there with you guys. And that I'd be forced to go out and buy my own house thereafter. So you're telling me that this was all a trap for me? You set me up for this? You are messed up for setting me up like that. I am your mother, aren't I? What kind of nerves do you have to be lying to your mother like that and setting her up to lose the house she's been waiting for? What was that? I believe it should be me asking you that instead of the other way around. Who was it that lied to me about us both moving into that house together, all while talking down to me because of the job I've been working? Let me ask one other thing. Do you consider yourself a good mother for doing something like that to your own daughter? I am your mother, so I'm allowed to do whatever I want with you. I see. That's quite the opinion you have there. But I guess I don't really care about what you think. I've chosen to cut ties to all of you after what's happened here. And you seem to have been wanting that exact same thing. So don't worry, as you are no longer family to me. Is that going to work for you? That is 100% okay with me. You're not my daughter anymore and never ever will be again. And that's because you just went and destroyed my dream home. That was your dream home? I guess not all of us happen to have the same expectations when it comes to homes then. It wasn't even a house at all though, really. It was just a prefab that I had placed on the land to test and see what you and Carter have really been up to. Of course, had you actually both gone ahead and made it look like you'd actually allow all of us to live in that house, then I was going to go ahead and build the house up properly. That prefab could have been used, and I could have had the contractors that I hired put in some real work to turn the place into an actual home. But the moment I told you the place was finished, you turned on me and said I was not to come live there with you guys. After hearing that from you, I knew what I had to do.
What do you mean you knew what you had to do after hearing that from me?
After hearing that, I knew that you and I couldn't make it work anymore. You think of me as nothing more than a stranger, and now I feel the same about you.
And who cares about any of that now? It's over with. If you want to leave me and Carter behind forever, then go ahead and do so. But once you've left us, what are we going to do about a house?
What do you mean?
I've already gone and sold the old house. It's in the hands of the realtors now, and all I have left to do is clean the rest of my things out of it. Where am I going to live now?
Well, before that house is completely sold by the realtors, you better find yourself a new house and fast. Go ask your favorite child to help you out with all of that as well. Actually, you've already gone and bought some land now, so why not build a place there? That's, of course, after you guys take out some loans to do so for the place. I was able to afford a prefab no problem, so why not start with something like that?
Why is someone like you, who works as a janitor, able to afford more than Carter can? There is something wrong with all that. You are working one of the lowest jobs on the planet.
Say whatever you like about the work I do. You have to remember that in Carter's case, he left his old job after getting married and used whatever money he had to pay for the wedding. And it's only been 2 years since then, and he's just gone now from being a contractor for the new company he's at to working as a full-time employee there. He's already taken out a loan to pay for the land that the house was going to be built on, so until he pays that off, don't expect much money to come from him. But unlike him in his situation, I've been working for 10 years now. Did you know that?
What? It's been that long now?
I've been the one taking my career very seriously, even with you making fun of my job as a janitor. But of course, I'm the one running the company that supplies janitors to companies, so it's not like I'm the one doing all of the dirty work. I happen to be a part of HR, as the leader, actually, and I'm the one that makes the calls on who's hired and who's not, as well as gives input into where we have the company go next. I'm able to make a lot of money, actually, even though you keep believing that I'm working a low-level job. I have to say this job has been very good to me, and I've never had to worry about money for the last 8 years.
What? You're a janitor, but you don't clean or anything?
Just because I'm working for a janitorial company, that does not mean I'm directly a janitor. Yes, I've worked as one for a few years, but after that I started working in HR and moved up from there.
I had no idea that's what was going on there. Are you trying to tell me that you're a regular office worker then?
I wouldn't say regular. Like I said, I'm in charge of the HR department and have a say in a lot of things the company does. Just know that I'm probably making way more than Carter is and will ever make, most likely.
I never knew about any of that. Why did you never say anything to me sooner? Shouldn't you be telling me things like that? Had I known about your real position in that company, I would have changed the way I talk and act around you.
I really don't care about how you talk and treat me, Mom. You've always loved Carter way more than me and never once actually told me that you cared and loved me. It was very clear that you did not want to be bothered with me any, so don't try and make it seem like you would have done so now had you known I had money. I know about how when I told you I'd be building a new house for us two, you immediately called Carter and started talking with him about having him come live with you.
Why do you know about all of that? I never said a thing to you about what I've been talking about with Carter.
You must have forgotten the most important thing about your son, that he's a complete imbecile. Right after you started talking to him about your plans, he turned to me and told me all about it. Bragging about it, actually. About how you always choose to be around him and never me because you despise me, that sort of thing.
Carter did all of that?
Had I never heard anything about that from him, I would have never known that you were going to use me and kick me out the moment the house was ready.
And that's why you talked with him about paying for the house?
Had I never heard a thing from Carter, I would have let him pay for the land and house and just helped pay for the contractors and things like that. But after he told me everything, I said he could pay for the land with his loan and I'd take care of the house for him. And that's when I went out and bought that prefab to see how it would all turn out. Carter didn't even bother to question what I was doing there and just went along thinking it was all okay. He thought that me buying a prefab like that instead of having a proper house being built just meant that he was going to be getting a home for even cheaper.
So you played both of us!
I did? I was never playing you guys. Your son just happens to be a complete idiot. I told him my plans for the house, and instead of him questioning any of it, he just went on his merry way. And remember, I had tried to stop you from selling your old house so early. But you didn't care to listen to anything I was saying.
I thought we'd be able to move into a new house, so of course I wanted my old place gone.
Well, just know that I'm going to be all right after today. I went out and bought my own land and a house to have built on it.
What? You did that without telling me anything?
Without telling you? I don't have to tell you anything about myself. I'm an adult now, and that all has to do with my life. I'm sure that without a place to live now, you and Carter and his wife are going to be left on the streets. But that's what you all deserve, right? Good luck with that, you freaking toxic idiots. In the end, Arya went ahead and started to ignore anything that her mom and brother would say to her and focused all her attention on the new house she was having built in order to start her new life. However, for both her old mother and her stupid brother, they were both left with no place to live and had to move into an old, run-down apartment outside of town. Having to live in such a small and disgusting place together really began to stress out Carter's wife. And before long, she got a divorce from him and moved out to find a better man for herself. This then led to both Carter and his mom getting into fights every single day, all while there was barely any income, making each day feel as though they were pretty much homeless. I think that Arya made the right choice in setting her mother up for failure this way and saved herself a lot of trouble by getting her own place before making her final move.